there's something I want to show you that I just added to the 1985 Sun Valley Coleman pop-up camper. That's pretty cool. If you watch some of my videos, you know when I travel down the highway, I only do maybe 65 miles an hour, 62, 65. I don't push it because I'm towing my Sun Valley camper with my 2004 Pontiac Montana, and I just don't like to stress the Montana out. If it's a nice stretch highway, it's not a problem. If we get into areas like the Hoosier National Forest, going up and down the big hills, the engine just starts to tack a little bit, especially on the upcline, so I just don't want to push the Montana beyond its limits. So I travel pretty slow. So a lot of times I'll take a 2,000-mile journey all the way up into the North Country, and when I do that, a lot of times I drive at night. Just because it's easier getting through big cities at night. At 2 o'clock in the morning, most big cities you can just float through it just like a ghost and nobody even knows you went through, and there's very little traffic. But driving at night has its own problems. One is visibility. So as I'm driving down the road, I know that there's drivers out there that are getting tired. There's drivers out there that are going very, very fast, and I just don't want somebody to come up on me really fast, slam the Coleman camper and the Montana. So what I've done is I come up with a way to add a lot more visibility from behind. Let me show you what I've done. Okay, so I come up with this light bar that I've added to the Sun Valley camper. It's pretty nice. It is bright, and it was a pretty easy fix, actually. This bar it is mounted on right here, this steel bar, is a Yakima rack bar that I've had, one of my extras that I had over the years, and I just bought this light bar, and you can see the light bar. I just have it on here with black zip ties, and I zip tied the light bar to the Yakima rack bar. Now any bar would work. You could use a piece of wood if you wanted to, but it's a pretty easy fix, and this is a pretty nice light bar right here. This is probably about a 5-foot light bar. Then I come up with these little cushions right here, and I carved them out, and that way the light bar is actually not resting on top of the Coleman camper and messing up the roof system. Generic oval rings, you can get these at any hardware store here, and they mounted on this little clip that goes on the Yakima bar. But really, you could almost drill through any kind of pipe right here. You could drill through it and have a hole going through it, and you could do the same thing. So I just connected this system here, and I have some Mistral straps. These are actually old windsurfing straps right here, but they go down, and then underneath the Sun Valley, there's a ring underneath the Sun Valley camper that hooks, that straps hook through, that it comes back through and hooks onto itself with this buckle right here. So really, it's a pretty nice system, and it's pretty secure. Did the same thing on this side right here. And honestly, I don't really know what those rings are for. They had to be for a reason. Those are factory rings that are mounted on the bottom of the 1985 Coleman Sun Valley camper, but I'm not exactly sure what they're for. Hey, if you know, leave a comment for me, because I don't know. Is once it gets dark, I will light this up for you. Okay, there's that new light bar. The 1985 Coleman Sun Valley. From behind, you can see that you really can't see the Montana lights. That light bar really lights up when I hit the brakes too. Makes it nice. I have new LED tail lights on the Coleman that I put on, and so The light bar lights up as a running light, and when I hit the brakes, it becomes really bright all the way across. When the turn signals are put on, say on the right side, this will flash, half the light bar will flash. On the left side, same thing. About the older vehicles, they really didn't put a lot of time and effort in the tail lights. Just the fact that I put LED tail lights on here made a huge difference on the Coleman. They were actually a purple color when I first bought the camper. I like to have the extra security of a light bar. I've also got some little pieces of reflective tape on here. That helps also. You never want somebody to come up from behind you going pretty fast down an interstate at 2 o'clock in the morning and not realize you're a slow moving vehicle and just hit you from behind. That could ruin your whole trip for sure. Now it's getting ready to thunderstorm here in a minute, but I'll kind of show you. I'll take this tarp and I'll kind of peel it back here a little bit. This light bar comes with a 5-point connector on it. And I just have it connected up, and this connector goes all the way down to the front. I've got some little Velcro pieces that I put on. I put a piece of Velcro tape on the bottom of the camper, and then the softer piece I actually wrapped around the wire, doubled it, put it down on there, and it holds pretty good. This is another thing I do. I don't know, it's up to you guys out there how you want to treat your pop-up campers, but I always keep mine covered up. Just if nothing else, a lot of people just don't realize how hard the sun rays will eat the top up on a pop-up camper. So if you always have a little tarp like this is an 8x10 tarp. If you have a tarp on top of it, and I just tie it down, that way like with the thunderstorm coming up right now, it's not going to be a problem. The rain's going to hit it, beat off of it, run off the tarp, not a problem. So anyways, let me raise this up right here. So that wire comes all the way down, comes all the way through the center here. You can kind of see better how I did that Velcro. This is a little, that Velcro goes on there and I just wrap that around. This is some industrial Velcro on there, so it actually comes down, and here's my wire system. Now this gets a little bit interesting right here, how this is wired up. Ends another 4-point connection like this right here. One of these right here, female sides, will connect to the light bar itself, just like this. That connects on there. The other side, the female side, will connect to the Coleman camper factory connection, 4-point connection. So it'll go on there like that right there. Now what that leaves me is this connection here, another 4-point connection, and it will actually plug into the Montana. So together it all works as a nice system, and I'll tuck this all in here and I'll tie this down. I'm sure that's why I've got this little piece of rope right here that I'll probably tie this down to the frame itself. It's not really the best explanation what I'm giving you, but I think by visual you can kind of see what I got going on here. I don't know if you heard that, but you can kind of hear that thunderstorm rolling in. So it just takes that system right here. I guess that maybe this would be a pigtail, possibly a pigtail, what you'd call this, right here. I probably bought this. This is probably factory done. Like this, it looks like to me like it was factory made, and I've just got some I just have some Gorilla tape wrapped on it to kind of cover up the wires. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments if you would, or if you have any advice on it, leave it in the comments if you would. Hey, as usual, I appreciate you coming to the channel. That's LAF Space Film Fest, capital LAF Space Film Fest. Hey, if you would, hammer down that subscribe button. I appreciate it. Helps me to make little things like this that I can pass on to you, that just in case you want a little more visibility going down the road, this is how you can do it. 5-foot light bar on your pop-up camper worked pretty good. Uh-oh. Here comes that rain. Better shut her down, get this camera inside. This is what I do with the cord to the LED. Whenever I get here, I just unhook it from the tongue of the trailer and just leave it up there, and it'll sit up there until I'm ready to go. And then of course the sides where I had the straps that go underneath and hook underneath. They just come up. So the LED light will just sit there, and I'll raise the Coleman up. The LED light just stays up there on top, just like that. Works pretty good. Yeah, driving here this morning, me and Jazz left about 5 a.m. and going down the interstate. I tell you what, it's nice to have that extra visibility. A lot of drivers are going 75, 80 miles an hour, and I'm doing, 60 to 65, so it's always nice to have that extra visibility. You guys ready to go home? Let's go. You have a good day.